Hello children, today I'll be teaching you on the very important topic of English grammar, that is verbs. So first of all, I know you must be familiar with this topic. So what do we understand with verb? So you must be knowing it that any word which denotes an action or tells about what is done in that sentence is called verb. So in this topic today we will discuss and come to know about verbs, what are auxiliary verbs, then what is transitive and intransitive verbs, and finite and non-finite verbs. So let us start with what are verbs. So we know that a verb denotes an action or being or possession. For example, the guard showed the green flag. So over here, which word is telling us about what action is being done? That is showed. So showed over here is a verb. In the second example, Dickens was a great novelist. So over here, which word is telling about his being something, some quality? That is was. So over here, was is a verb. Similarly, in the third example, a cow has 4 legs. So it is telling the possession. What must be knowing about any action word is also known as verb, like play, skip, eat. But now we will study that it also tells about being or possessions. Now let us see what is an auxiliary verb. So in a sentence, if we say that he is sleeping, so over here which word is telling us about the action or the work is being done? That is sleeping. And which verb is helping the word sleeping? That is. So when any verb is used with the main verb, so in the sentence he is sleeping, sleeping is the main verb because it is telling about the action or the work which is being done, and along with it we are using the word is. So is an auxiliary verb or an helping verb because it helps the main verb. So some of the words which are used as auxiliary verbs or helping verbs are over here. We can see am, are, be able to, been, being, can, could, dare, did, do, does, going to, had better, has, have to, is, may, might, must, need, ought to, shall, should, was, were, will, would. So these are used as the helping verb or auxiliary verbs. Now we'll study about the transitive verbs and intransitive verb. In a sentence, a verb can be transitive or intransitive. So how to find out whether the particular verb is transitive verb or intransitive verbs? So in a sentence, if the verb requires an object to complete its meaning, it is called as transitive verb. For example, over here we see the patient needs medicine. So over here, which is the verb? Needs. Okay, and which is the subject? What is the subject? Who does the action? Okay, about whom the complete sentence is. So who is doing the action? The patient. So patient is the subject, and what action? He needs. So needs is the verb. So whether it is a transitive verb or intransitive verb, how to find out? So we studied just now that a verb that requires an object to complete its meaning is called as transitive verb. So if I see over here, the patient needs. Now what does he need? Because if simply we say the patient needs, it does not have a complete meaning. So we need to supply an object to complete its meaning. So over here, what is the object? The word medicine. So when we add medicine to the verb needs, what does he need? He needs medicine. So when an object over here, that is medicine, is supplied to the verb needs, it has got its complete meaning. So when any verb needs an object to complete its meaning is called as transitive verbs. Now what are intransitive verbs? Suppose example, the child smiled. Now any verb that does not require an object to complete its meaning but has a complete meaning by its own is called as intransitive verbs. For example, right now I said the child smiled. So what is the subject? The child. And what is the verb? Smiled. Over here, smiled is a verb and it does not need any object to complete its meaning. Simply if I say the child smiled, the sentence is having a complete meaning on its own. I do not need to supply an object. Without an object also, it has got its complete meaning. Okay, so let us look after some more examples. Suppose number 1 is of transitive verb, the student write composition. So what is the verb over here? Write. Okay, so what do they write? They write composition. Okay, so we need an object. So write is a transitive verb. Alright. For example of an intransitive verb, the children sat at 7:30 p.m. So over here, if I say simply the children sat, that is also complete. And if I say the children sat at 7:30 p.m., the children sat at table, even if we don't supply the object, the sentence is complete on its own. Simply the children sat is also a complete sentence. So intransitive verb does not require an object to complete its meaning. We can provide an object or we may not provide an object to it. So this is the review of transitive and intransitive verbs. So transitive verbs needs an object. Intransitive verb does not need an object. For example, I bought a car. So what did I buy? A car. So over here the verb bought needs an object. And the baby smiled. So over here the baby smiled is itself complete sentence. The verb smile does not need any object. Okay, I hope this topic is clear to you. Now let's move over to another important topic, that is finite verb. So the finite verb shows agreement with the subject and is marked for the tense. So this verb depends on the subject and changes its tense accordingly. For example, I love parades. So which is a verb over here? Love. She loves parades. So over here, because we have used she, that's why we are using the verb loves. Singular subject, that's why singular verb. Now Pop loved parades. Over here, it changes its tense according to the sentence. So now he's not loving parades, but earlier he used to love parade. That's why loved parade. So the verb which depends on the subject and changes its tense accordingly is called as finite verb. Now let's see what are non-finite verbs, and we also refer them as infinitives. The verbs that does not changes its form or tense according to the subject is called as infinite verb. Basically, the ing or to form of the verb comes under this category. For example, to sleep, I love to sleep, I love to dance, he goes to school. All these are example of finite verbs or infinitive. Okay, I am sleeping, I am dancing. Okay, dancing is good for exercise. All these are example of infinitive or finite verbs because these are ing or to form of the verbs. For example, they want to eat something delicious. So over here it is to form of the verb to eat, that's why it is an infinitive. She wants to eat something delicious. So first one we see in first sentence, they want to eat something delicious. What is the subject? They. And then also we are using the verb, the to form, that is to eat. In the second sentence, she wants to eat something delicious. Over here the subject is she, that is singular. Then also the verb has not changed. Okay, neither the form, the number or the tense, it is same whether the subject is singular or plural, that is to it. That's why it is an infinitive. He wants to play, over here subject is singular, that's why he wants to play football, so we have used to play, so it is infinitive verb. They want to play football. Now in this sentence the subject is plural, that is they, then also the verb is to play. So like this we can categorize the verbs into finite and non-finite verbs. So let us once review with the definition and example. What are finite verbs? A verb which shows time or a verb which is limited by number, person or gender of the subject is known as finite verb. Example, Neha writes letter, they write letter, we have written letter. So we see that writes according to the sentence. If subject is singular, it is singular verb. If subject is plural, it is plural verb, and also the tense has also changed. Similarly, we'll see the definition of non-finite verbs. A verb that does not show time or a verb which is not limited by number, person and tense of the subject is known as non-finite verb. For example, Raman tries to sing, we try to sing, and they try to sing. So we see in all the three forms, even if the subject has changed, singular or plural, it has not, the verb has not changed its form. Okay. Now we'll also study about strong and weak verbs. So what are strong verbs and what are weak verbs? So we see that some of the verbs in their past tense changes its forms by adding ed, d or t at the last. For example, laugh becomes laughed in the past form, receive becomes received in the past form, learn becomes learnt in the past form. So these type of verbs are weak verbs. Now what are strong verbs? Now some of the verbs changes their past form by changing their inside vowel in present form. Okay, for example, come. So over here the inside vowel is O. Okay, it changes into came, that is A. So O changes into A, so it's a strong verb. No, over here the inside verb is O and it changes into E, that is new. It changes into E in the past form. Next, speak. The inside vowel is EA and it changes into spoke. So these are strong verbs. So basically there are three forms of the verb. What are those? Those are V1, that is present form, V2 past form and V3 past participle form. And some of the examples I have tried to show over here. Accept becomes accepted in the past and accepted in the past participle, it remains same. So we see similarly other verbs also. Beg becomes begged and begged. Now some of the strong verbs, for example, be becomes was in the past and in past participle been. Similarly break becomes broke, broken, buy becomes bought, bought, choose becomes chose, chosen. Okay, so go becomes went, gone. All these are different forms of the verb. So hope this video was helpful to you. We'll come up further with the next videos. Thank you so much.